Hey everyone, we're here today to talk about two items on my Ghostbusters Premium pinball machine, and that is the Scoleri drop targets and the protector up here, the airball protector that goes over the left ramp over there to try to alleviate some of the air balls when you hit these drop targets over here, especially where the ball goes, careening and flying around the playfield, probably pretty much on everyone's game. So we're going to talk about those two things, and what we're going to talk about with the drop downs is that when I got my game, when you would hit the drop targets would never fall down. It was like hitting a brick wall, and all you would do is get the ball thrown back at you really fast, and the targets would never drop. So basically what I'm going to show you underneath the playfield is just a little trick with the stock springs that come with it. I bought the Pinball Life springs that they have on their website. And basically, when I installed them, all the game would do was just like machine gun. The drops would never fall, and either the springs were too tight or whatever it is. So I had it with this game with these drop downs and all that. So basically, what I did was I just stretched the springs out and basically just made the spring not as tight with the stock springs that came with the game. So let's take a look at that real quick, and then I'm going to look at the airball protector that my friend Joe created, which is really good. What he did was he made the protector a little thicker, like a little wider, I should say, not really thicker, but wider, and it really prevents a lot of air balls. It really helps out a lot. So we're going to look at one of the other protectors, or the same kind of protector that maybe somebody else created, compared to Joe's, and see the difference in width and thickness, and see how much this one helps out compared to the other one. So we're going to go under the playfield first and look at the drop downs. Okay, so here we are at the drop down, one of the Scoleri brother targets. This is the one on the left hand side of the playfield if you're looking at the game directly from the front. So basically what I did was, and I'm sure this is documented somewhere on Pinside or somewhere like that, but if people want a visual, it just gives them a better idea of what I did to make these targets finally work. After a while, you just get frustrated at them. I just took the stock spring, put the top part over here where my finger is. So put that on the top of the Scoleri, target here with the drop down, and just stretch it up. But then I went about, I don't know, maybe about 10 to 15 rings from the bottom here. You could see this is where it should attach, from to the bottom of the drop down, right here where my fingers are, this circle here. But what I did was I just stretched that part out, kind of went about 10 or 15 loops up, and just looped it to the bottom of that drop down to give it more, I guess, tightness in this spring. Actually, I guess this spring was too loose. This gives it a little more tightness on that spring of what I did. So basically now the drops actually work really well. They drop every time they get hit, directly head on. Before you had to hit it, careen it off the side of the target to get them to drop. But now you can hit them head on or hit them however. You can even hit them from the back and they go down now, which is good, I guess. It's better than anything than what it was. But basically, that, like I said, I just stretched this bottom part out, went about 15 to 10 loops up, and then looped it from the bottom of that spring to there. So you have about 10 or 15 loops from the bottom, and the very bottom is here. So that's how I did my springs, and again, they work really well. And again, these are the, not that it's really going to show you anything, but this is the spring that I received from Pinball Life. And if you stretch it out, if I stretch these out maybe and kind of, pull on them a bit, they might work. So no disrespect to Pinball Life that these don't work. I'm sure they do if you do something with them. But stock, when I put these on from the top and the bottom to where these are now, it just machine gunned. The drop would never drop, and it would just keep machine gunning and going and going and going, and they would never work. So this is what I did, and it works, and I'm happy. So that's what I did, and if anybody else has an issue, that maybe is what you might want to do, and just to get a visual of what I did with my spring. And again, I did it to the other side as well. The same exact thing. There's about 10 or 15 of these loops to the bottom. You might have to fine-tune yours to get it to work right in your game, but that's what I did on this game to get it to work. So now let's take a look at Joe's plastic protector up on top for air balls and see the difference between somebody else who made one to what Joe's is. And I got to tell you, Joe's works really well. alleviates almost every airball that I had in the game. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so now here we are at the airball protector here, and let's zoom out a little bit so you just get a perspective of what is what. Here's the ramp, here's the cityscape, here's your pop bumpers up here, and here's your protector right in this area here, right there. And this is your ramp, and again, this is your subway that goes down under the playfield. So let's kind of zoom in a little bit on the protector here. Okay, so this is the new one that Joe gave me, and I looked at it first. I'm like, it looks a little big, but I don't know if it's really going to work or whatever. But how Joe did it was basically he bolted it. I'll try to keep my finger out of it when I'm doing this. So he bolted it here to this nut on the trap, the ball trap over there with the ball like on the proton side, and then basically it carries over. And it kind of goes to these two bolts here, right by the pops, kind of right by where the ghost target is here. And basically the one part at the very end actually tucks under the top of the pop bumper here, this kind of last nut here. So it kind of tucks under there. And actually, again, it works really well. So this is, let me get my arm out of the way. This is the old airball protector that I had, and it worked good, but I still got some airballs with it. And so basically how it went was it kind of went something like this. It's kind of probably hard to see since the other protector is here, but it bolted onto these two nuts here and this one nut here, so it basically covered the inside of the ramp, or like the beginning of that ramp. But basically it's a lot thinner than the old one, or what Joe's is right now. It goes like this. I'm sorry. So it kind of goes something like this, but you could see the difference in like maybe just the curvature of the ramp of the protector too. Joe's kind of covers more area in that section there, and this one's kind of straight across, and Joe's kind of zigzags around and stuff like that. But, his kind of goes like this. And the other protector kind of is straight across. Like, it's hard because it's not bolted on here. But it kind of goes straight across this way. So, I don't know. For yours to work, I just waxed the playfield in this game, so it's pretty slippery. So, for yours to work, you might want to thicken it up a bit and maybe zigzag it across. Maybe Joe could put the plans online or something on Pinside, or maybe on my website. Maybe I'll ask him if he has a drawing of this thing to give it to me, and I'll put the drawing of it on there so you could trace it out and try it out yourself. Or maybe Joe will make them. I don't know. I talked to Joe briefly about it, but I don't know how much he's into making them. But it works out really well. It's a nice fix for this game. Again, not a lot of air balls anymore, which is great. So that's the other fix that I just put on this game, actually. And another thing I noticed on this game is that this target here, this is the left stand-up target, the 2x playfield value on the playfield, right here. When the ball kind of comes down here, if this thing is out of line or something like that, or it kind of is angling out a little bit from getting hit so many times, the ball will actually bang into it as it's coming down. It'll kind of bump into it, and it'll make the ball kind of not go to your flipper, but kind of come down either down the middle or to your right flipper. So this, you might kind of want to push, a little bit out that way and see if you can tighten up from the bottom. So, I don't know. Not a great design. Way of doing something on the game, I think, that could have that happen. Again, in this game, I think many things are not looked at before it went out. That's just my opinion. I don't know how it left the facility this way with some of the shots. Great game. Makes you keep coming back for more, but just some things that are designed into this game, I just don't understand why it was designed that way. But I'm not a pinball designer, so I don't really know. And another thing that I have, let's kind of focus on, and this is leveled dead on. It's leveled center. When this comes out of the subway, And this happened, I played this game the other night with a couple people, and it happened so many times. It'll come out, I don't know if this happened to other people, it'll have so much speed coming out, it bangs into this rubber, it'll kind of hang over here, and it'll kind of sometimes just roll and come right out your out lane that way. So it'll bang into the rubber, instead of just dropping down and getting a clean shot and a safe shot, it'll come, bang into this, either back, it has so much spin on it, it'll come back and either hang here and kind of roll off each in lane here, the in lane, like the little small bars that should be larger bars like in Metallica, and just kind of go out the out lane like that. Happens so many times. I think that this should be a safe shot in this game when you're going up the metal ramp, but again, on my game, it's not a safe shot. It'll go and many times just roll right out the out lane when it comes out. So if anybody has a fix for that, or anybody has seen anything, and again, my game, I put this on Pinside, people are like, you know, make sure your game is level, and I understand, but my game is dead on level, and actually it's tilted a little bit to the left to kind of compensate for that shot, and it still does it. So I don't know if anybody has put anything else in here, like any other kind of rubber item, or anything to like absorb some more of this shot and not this rubber where it'll come off, bounce maybe back and cause that to happen. I don't know. I'm out of ideas. The one with the stand-up target, why it would shoot down and go to the, you know, your middle of your flippers when you plunge. Now I figured out what it's hitting, causing that to happen. So I know what that is now. But this, I'm still perplexed on. I don't know. So that's my 2 fixes for this game. If anybody has any fixes, let me know. Or if they've encountered anything, please email me at info@pinballsupernova.com, or post it on the video for this on my YouTube page, or post it on the blog where this will also be posted on the WordPress site. That's linked from www.pinballsupernova.com. All my sites are linked from that main homepage. So again, thanks for watching. I'm sure I'll have a couple other videos on this game. There's always something happening with it. It's a great game, but again, it's just some of the design issues in it are just, they perplex me again. And I just don't understand how it could have been released, but again, it's just my opinion. And thanks again, and please subscribe to my YouTube page, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks.